Hola, ¿cómo va? Estamos acá para hacer el vivo con Brian, el protagonista de Rent a Paul o Rent a Pal, sería como la producción correcta. Así que bueno, vamos acá, lo esperamos con mate en mano. ¿Cómo va, Rachelin? ¿Todo bien? Hey, ¿cómo va, Cristian? Ahí está, ahí está. Vamos a ver y transmitir. 3, 2, 1 y ahí va, está conectándose. Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Hi, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. I hear you a little with how you say. Can you say something
Yeah,
so I?
are you getting any feedback? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. Well, welcome, and we usually start these chats here in Argentina. The mate is like drinking mate is like talk, hang out. So I want to start with asking you about your how did you start like in this acting world? You told me your mother is from Brazil, so you have a South American root. You speak Portuguese or Spanish?
Oh, no, I wish I did. Mi español muy mal, lo siento.
So tell me, how did you start your acting career? I mean, when did you discover when you were little? Did you discover that when you were little or after?
I think I was acting in the womb. So I'm pretty sure as I came out, I was just trying to figure out a way to do it. And then when I was 5 years old, I did a play, an alphabet play, and I was the letter F for Fancy Feet, and I did a ridiculous little dance, and the rest, yeah, and then the audience laughed, and I was like, "What?" And then the rest was history. From then on, all throughout school, I did theater. Into college, I was working as a professional actor in college, doing theater. I've done theater for 26 years. And
Wow.
so that's largely my background. And probably in my mid 20s, I was really interested in film. I live in Denver, Colorado. And so I was trying to figure out ways in Denver to act in film. And so I would do student films and I would get, whatever I could get, I would do. And yeah, I mean, I'm an actor through and through. It's in my blood, and I'm a storyteller, and I'm just trying to figure out ways of now that I'm older, is kind of trying to create my own stories and produce and act at the same time, so that I can, tell the stories that I'm interested in and play the most unique characters that I can.
You are in two movies that have a huge success, especially the last one, The Oaks, that is in Amazon. People, if you want to see it, and well, Rent a Pal, how the pronunciation? Yes,
It's a path.
um, the fell, and where we were discussing about that, about the importance of this film in this period of time, because well, as I told you, we talk about Eugene, the director of Pre, about this problem of social media affect disconnecting us every day, but this probably is not new, and your film proves that.
Yeah, what's really interesting is that the timing is so specific with this film. We got really lucky, I think, that we sold our movie during the pandemic, at the very beginning of the pandemic. So there had been about a month that had gone by that we were under lockdown, and so people, content providers, were starting to get a little antsy and a little desperate to make sure that they had the content to give to the people, because people were consuming content during that time so much. And so we just happened to have a really good movie that was ready to go. And, we got in front of IFC, which was a blessing. IFC Midnight picked us up in the States. And what's really interesting and what was really just purely luck was that our movie spoke to what people had been going through during quarantine. So isolation, loneliness, trying to make a connection in that loneliness, and relationships with the screen. So, like, our movie just spoke to exactly what was going on with the world. I mean, not just the United States, but with the world. Everybody was going through this. And, Rent-A-Pal just kind of found that lane. And it really has, since it's been released, it has, really been taking people and getting them right in the heart. It's a real blessing.
Mm. Can you tell us about how you meet the director? What was there was any change between the original script and when you decided to play this character? There was improvisation. What was the creative process?
Sure, sure. So I met John through the film community here in Denver, and he was a camera operator, so an assistant to a DP, and super hardworking, really talented, especially in that camera department. And we had done a film called Hoax, which is on Amazon Prime now, where it's like a Bigfoot movie. So we were in the woods of Colorado for 7 weeks together. And when you do something like that, you become pretty close. The whole cast and crew, we all bonded really well. We had a good 3 weeks of overnights together in the woods. And so during that time, we all got to know each other really well. And, I had known John from just working in the community. And I was going through a difficult time in my life that I knew he was going through as well, or had just gone through. So I reached out to talk to him about, personal stuff. And he's like, funny that you emailed me. I've got this script that I think you would be perfect for. And I was like, well, send it my way. I'd love to read it. I was 9 pages into Rent-A-Pal, and I was like, I have to do this script. This is the most amazing thing that I've read in a very, very long time. And so I talked to him about coming on as a producer. I talked to him about how we're going to get this made. Who was he envisioning as the Rent-A-Pal? And when he laid it all out for me, I was just like, that's brilliant. I mean, he was really focused on getting a star from the 80s. And so we had looked at a couple different people in that process, and then we landed on Will Wheaton. We sent him the script, and thankfully we sent his people the script, and thankfully it got into his hands because he loved it. And then it was just a question of how do we get Will to Denver? He was on a Star Trek cruise at the time, and so we had to wait a little bit. We started shooting for about 3 weeks. We took a break while I did a play. Once I had that play opened, we And then, after he did his day, they sent me some tapes of his footage, and I started rehearsing with that footage. And then we had 2 more weeks of shooting with the actual footage in the old school TV to wrap out that movie. And there was very little improv because everything was in the script. John had constructed such a beautiful story, and I'm not sure if you know this, but there was actually a Rent-A-Friend in the 80s. It was a videotape that you rented, and it was exactly what you saw in the movie of some guy talking straight into the lens saying, I just want to be your friend, and he'd ask you a question and wait for you to answer. And so John, before we started shooting, John sent me that link to a YouTube clip of the Rent-A-Friend, and that was all the source material I needed. It blew my mind that this actually existed. And so there you have it.
No, yeah, I was trying to find out if in Argentina or Latin America there was a similar service in the 90s or 80s. I couldn't find anything because I knew it was something that was popular in the US, but I am not sure here it was a thing. But it's very interesting how, the way, the need of meeting other people. I mean, we were discussing also with, I saw this a documentary by Jamie Winans, the director of Ink. You were in Ink, I checked
I
it.
was in ink for a moment, for like a hot second. I had actually auditioned for the guy with the X's on his eyes.
Yeah, the blind man.
Yeah, so that ended up going to a good friend of mine, so I was glad that he got it. But then they called me in just to do a very simple thing in ink. I'm glad to be a part of it because it's a wonderful movie.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we talked to Chris Kelly, the actor who played John. Well,
It's
we're
also a
trying
good
to do
friend of mine.
something with Jamie Winans because, I mean, he's amazing. For me, he's the Christopher Nolan of the independent circuit.
I,
That's
I,
how
I
I
would
see
agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that.
it.
Very
I mean,
talented.
I hope he do new movies because he only did The Frame and Ink and another couple. This documentary shows the problem of the generation born after the social media.
Yeah.
And is it true that social media has put this, this problem of loneliness and I would say lack of human contact, has made the problem worse? But the thing is, if the problem is not new, when did it start? And when is the real cause of the problem, why people are while human relationships are being deteriorated. What do you think about that? Have you talked with the director about this issue?
I mean, I think the problem has existed for as long as we've existed. You get lonely in your cave, you don't have a lady, you're like, ooh, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, I think, I think it got expeditiously worse when
Mm.
social media came into the picture because suddenly we were closer than ever before, but this screen distanced us and that we were able to create personas that we are not. Given the social media, we can tell whatever story we want to tell. You know what I mean? And so
Mm.
I think social media was the beginning of the decline as far as how we connect as humans, as people, and then how we connect on a more like kind of romantic level, trying to find a life partner, something like that. I really believe that social media had a lot to do with that disconnect.
Yeah, because in a way, I think social media, bring us the possibility to create an avatar, a false self projection of ourselves.
Yep.
And I was talking to a friend because we started all this fanzine, this network 9 months ago. And for me, that I'm a very social person. I talk with everyone in the street. When I was little, I started, talking with directors, actors, because, I'm a freaky. I love sci-fi. So I always try to connect people to make projects. And for me, this social media, I think I'm the only one that is using social media as in a positive way, like talking to you, to people. I always like to connect in Zoom, or if I had the chance to, have a mate or a coffee in the same place. But I'm talking to people in Russia. But this is not like an avatar, a direct contact. And with that possibility, I think all the time people that they are not using the social media for this, but to hide
That's it.
themselves. And
Yes.
and that for me it's crazy. Come on, you have the chance to meet people all around the bar. Meeting
Oh,
like having a conversation like you here. With the mate, with the beer,
no,
wherever.
we're halfway across the
But
world and
yeah,
able
I
to
know,
connect
but
with
they
us.
don't do that. And that
No,
for
it's
me it's
true.
a very strong paradox.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how you use it, right? I think that you're using it in a very positive way to kind of bridge the gap, especially during this time where Zoom has become, part of our language. Now we all know what Zoom means. Like going into this, did anybody, very many people know what Zoom meant? Probably not. But then we had all crash courses in what Zoom was and we're able to connect in this way, which I think is is ultimately why social media was put into place, is to make this connection. Okay. But then we have to hang up the phone and, when we come out of the pandemic, go meet face to face again. You know what I mean? And share a drink, break bread together, all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in Argentina, we are very social people. That's why I always calling people, because I have this, when I talking with people in Australia, on the US, especially in LA, they are like, they are very, and they always talk to do like business. They don't want to hang out. And we in Argentina, we're a hangout culture. Even with, when you meet someone for work, you need to sit down and have a beer or whatever. And I think that the problem is we need to keep that. I mean, and quarantine has created this dilemma. We don't have to lose this. I mean, Latin America is like that. You being the son of a Brazilian, and do you feel you have this need of connecting people, hang out like?
Yeah, that's funny that you put it in that context. I don't think I've ever made that connection, but absolutely, I'm very much a social creature, and I feel the need to connect in that way. I mean, I have, my mother's sister lives in Puerto Rico, and I go to Puerto Rico. I try to go once a year, and they very much have that Latin American feel to the way they do things. We sit down, we eat for 2.5 hours, we talk, I love that. I think there needs to be more of that in the States. In the States, everybody is like, go, 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 at least before the pandemic. Yeah. Everybody's like, go, go, go. We're eating for half an hour, 20 minutes. As soon as you get food, you cram it in your face, you slosh it down, and off you go. But I think there's something to be said. We could learn a lot from the Latin American culture in that sense, where let's spend more time, let's slow down, let's be with people, because that's what this human experience is all about, I believe.
As a social creature, as you define yourself, did you find any difficulties to play, a character who is so, isolated? Because maybe difficult is a challenge, I guess.
I'm a character actor, and so I enjoy the difficult. I enjoy having a challenge of playing something that's completely opposite of me. I prefer, as I go from role, to stretch myself, to push myself. If it scares me, then I absolutely should be doing it. So I embrace playing a character that is opposite of me, and David is the most opposite from me in every aspect of my life. As far as how I live my life, I'm not in a basement of my mom's house. I'm not looking for love on an app. Like I'm not that guy at all. And so I embrace those challenges with open arms. I really enjoy playing characters that are, villains and creepy characters are probably my favorite to play.
Yeah, I think every actor enjoys playing this type of character. Here, I speak with actors, and they always want to play this kind of character because they are complex. Because in the forums, that they discussed your movie, they said I didn't know what to feel, but some people feel like pity for your character, and then it was, it generates this thing. I mean, in a way, yes. It ends up doing terrible things, but at the same time, did you feel that response from the audience?
I did. I absolutely did. And actually after reading the script and going in to shoot this film, the big challenge for me, the thing that was really important to me, was that I wanted to find a way to endear David to the audience. So I wanted to find a way for the audience to connect with David so that they would go on the journey with him until the change. Obviously, when there's a switch, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but when there's a switch, that's shocking to them. They're screaming at the television like any horror. We're like, don't do it, no, turn back. I want them to be invested in that way. And for me, it was the moment of giving his monologue at the dating service place, where he was saying what he was, who he was and what he was looking for in a woman. for me, that was the place where he got to really show his heart. And I think that's the place where the audience connects with him until the guy's like, well, actually, you only have 30 seconds. And then he's flustered and he has a terrible video. And, you know, then automatically the audience is starting to feel for him from that moment on.
Yeah, no, that was wonderful because you start like really empathizing with this guy. In a way, even until the end, you understand him in a way, and you feel bad. You feel the need to, but that's the thing. If you find one of the David in the real life, we wouldn't approach because of this, you know, distance, invisible distance, you know, that exists. Thanks to, I think one of the, and this is from Jamie Winans in the documentary Childhood 2.0. He says that, for example, a ritual like eating lunch nowadays in the U.S., thanks to, you know, fast food, it's everything's like this, and lunch is a very important ritual in human history. We settle together with friends and family, and now thanks to fast food, it's everything that is terrible. I mean,
it's terrible. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I will send you the link so you can watch send it to the director also, the Jamie Winans documentary, because it's in the line of the movie, and also, I mean, it also generates questions, and and it's very interesting to watch. And there's something also I found very emotional about the movie is the relationship with David's mother. By the way, the actress is fabulous. I don't know where you find her, but
I'll tell you,
she really breaks your heart. You know.
So,
really?
So I've been watching the lady that played my mother. Her name is Kathleen Brady. I've been watching her for 20 years, and she was a company member at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, a theater company that's a really large regional theater here in the States. And I've been watching her play every character under the sun. She's just magic. And so when I was talking to John, I was like, who are you going to get to play Mom? And he's like, I'm not sure yet. I was like, you have to try and get Kathy Brady, because she would be perfect. And thankfully, she had never done a feature film before. She had done some TV. She's in Breaking Bad. She had done a couple episodes of Breaking Bad. She had done some TV and commercial, but never a feature film. And thankfully, she was game to play the part, because I think she has the best one-liners of the whole movie. Like her lines in the movie, she's just so good and so brave. And I'm so blessed that she was a part of this film, because I don't think it would be as impactful as it was without someone of her caliber in that role. And she, you know, she's just a special artist, man. And we were very lucky to have her. Yeah.
There's
and so
a scene
where the mother's tough, you know. We had to go to some very specific emotional places, the two of us, that were very vulnerable. And, you know, we were lucky because we got to rehearse our scenes in the house that it was shot before we actually shot it. So we got used to our surroundings. We got used to being together. And to this day, I still go over and bring her lunch probably once a month. And we sit in the backyard, distanced, and we, you know, shoot the shit. And she's a delightful human, one of the funniest people I know.
No, really. I mean, there's a scene I remember that it's heartbreaking when David hugs her mother because, well, she's angry. She starts screaming, and then she has her. I mean, it's so heartbreaking. I mean, that scene, the fact that she's like senile. Oh my God! I mean, it's so touching. I mean, there was improvisation in that scene, or it was everything on the script?
Everything was scripted. Everything was scripted.
Wow.
We had very little improv. I think the improvisation came in between the lines. So, and I think largely because it's a drama, and because he had written it so well, there wasn't the need. You know, there wasn't the need for improv. The most that we would do is say a line here and there in between the lines, but you know, that scene where she catches me masturbating, and then I'm I'm embarrassed, and then all of a sudden I'm screaming at her, and I tell her that her husband's dead, and since her mind is going, that she can't handle that. We go through a series of emotions, like
Yeah.
4 or 5 emotions in a very short amount of time. And we actually saved that scene for her last day because I was screaming in her face, and that's going to affect someone that is like that. So she was emotional. I was emotional. I remember leaving set, or when she left set that day, I was outside and I was kind of gathering myself, and she came out and we locked eyes and we didn't say anything. But in that moment, it was like, are you okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? So it was like that connection after shooting all this time together. That was a beautiful moment. I'm really grateful that it was her that got to play.
I hope the movie does well in the festival, because really you and the Catalina are really an award-winning performance. I hope that. Do you know if there is any possibilities of going to the Academy Awards or anything? Because I know horror or thrillers are not very popular in this kind of award. That's something I feel is not fair, because there is a lot of performance in genre, films, but I don't know why in the Academy they don't consider them. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of subject. You know, it's not really something that happens in the Academy Awards, which is weird because after I got put on a short list for Oscar predictions as Best Actor, and I found my name right under Michael Fassbender, and I was like,
wow.
You know what I mean? I was like, this is crazy. And I'm very grateful to that guy who predicts, who the Oscars was. And I was listening to a podcast that he does, and he was like, it's films like this that should be seen by the Academy, and that should be recognized for pure, cinematography, because the cinematography, Scott Park, who did the cinematography, is a genius. And his work is just, he paints with light. And when you have artists like that are working in film, they should be acknowledged, my performance aside, I just think that it's important to acknowledge these little movies that turn out to surprise you. Because this, I'll tell you, this was a movie that was made for $100,000, and it looks like $1 million movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, this looks like a movie that could have been made for 10 times as much as it actually was made for. And those kind of movies should be recognized.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's well, here in Argentina we are used to manage small budgets. So, but when you have like 100,000 as a budget, you need to be creative, and that's the thing about small independent films. They get out the best of people, artists, a cinematographer, actors. You need to, and that's something I really love about that. And I was telling you that here in Latin America, the fans of this kind of genre, they really look for the best. And in Latin America, we always see like American commercial films, mainstream, like they're always over-explaining things. And in Latin America, we hate that. Actually, I talked with Travis Miloy. I talked with a screenwriter Travis Miloy, who did the adaptation of Let the Right One In, and he told me that the producers force the scriptwriters to over-explain because they are afraid that audience won't understand. And here in Latin America, you cannot do that. We hate that. I mean, we because we are more get used to these mind-bending things because of our culture. I hope that changed, because really there's a lot of talent, independent artists in the U.S. that should be known. Would you agree with that? I
absolutely agree. I mean, I think a lot of the mainstream movies end up talking too much and end up not. They don't think the audience is as smart as we are. You know what I mean? Like, we are smart. We've been watching movies all our lives. Okay, we've been hearing stories our whole lives. So challenge us. You know what I mean? It's like, give us stories that are intricate and complex and layered. And, you know, I think the cinematography should reflect that. I think that the performances should reflect that. And absolutely the writing should reflect that. Okay, I want more, you know, that's what I'm looking for as an actor is I'm looking for stories that are complex so that I have an opportunity to really kind of dig deep and find interesting character to tell that story.
So I will try to put you in contact with the directors here. You can play, of course, someone from the US. If you want to learn Spanish or Portuguese, you can do it. I mean,
I should. I mean, I really should.
no, I mean, it's a question of practicing. I know
Ooh,
people that have learned
look
the
who
language
just joined.
in 1 month.
Look who just joined. The director just joined our little chat here. I'm calling him
Oh,
out.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
So say hi to
hi,
John. Hi, John.
John. If you want to talk later, we can do it. I mean, your film is excellent. Brian is excellent. I mean, do more movies, please.
We're working on it. We're working.
Are you going to do more films together?
I hope so. I mean, I think that, you know, regardless, Denver's a pretty small town as far as film is concerned. And we've been talking a lot about collaborations, and it's all about just finding the right collaboration. Because John's a smart director. He's not going to force me into a story that I don't work into. It's going to have to be something that lines up with story, that lines up with character. And that's why I love him, is that he's not going to force me into something that I'm not supposed to be in. But again, I'm a character actor, and hopefully I can play a lot of different kinds of people, you know?
Oh, great. Would you be in a slasher movie?
You know, it's not my favorite genre, slasher. Although if you're really interested in finding something like that, I'm sure that I've played my share of, you know, there's a movie on Amazon Prime that's called Bodies, and it's a gory film that I did that I'm not really, I don't like the film itself. I like my performance, but the film is not the best. But, you know, for me, it's all about story and it's all about character. So if the story is good and it surprises me, then I would be open to that.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about Fernando Spinner, that is a sci-fi director from Argentina. He did 2 excellent sci-fi movies. And we arrived to this conclusion. It's about the story. You can do a slasher film, a noir film, a drama film. Is the story is good? The genre is just, you know, the vessel, right?
Yes.
It's it's a shell where you tell the story. And I've seen a lot of directors who work in different genres, very different, dystopian, drama, but to work the same, the same themes. For example, Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam, or not Terry Gilliam, but for example, the guy who made the Parasite, you know, the movie Korean.
Wonderful.
If you see all these, excellent. But if you see the filmography of this guy, he did a different genre, dystopian drama, but it's always the same theme: is social, social problems like social classes.
Yeah.
And I love that about experimenting the same themes in different genres. What theme that attract you the most to play in different genres?
Oh man, I think, you know, as far as what I'm attracted to, you know, I've been looking forever for a script like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You know, those kind of, or Garden State, like those kind of stories, they're like these little quirky indies are my favorite. And the thing is, ultimately, like I said before, is that genre doesn't matter to me as long as the story rises above the genre. So if the story is interesting, if the characters are unique, those are the things that excite me as an artist. I mean, I think that's what you're saying about these directors that want to push themselves artistically, that they're going to make a different kind of genre each way along the way, because they want to be challenged as artists. They want to tell different kind of stories. And I think that ultimately is what resonates with me as an artist, as an actor, as a lifetime artist because I'm a lifetime artist. I never had a plan B, right? This is plan A, and it's just about A.1, A.2, A.3, all the way down until I can figure out how to do it. And oddly enough, I found success in a pandemic. So there you have it.
I will send you some film from Latin America, sci-fi, horror, different genre, and I will put you in contact with the directors because they are looking for, to do. Now is the time to do co-productions because we are connected. So let's use social media, and there's this guy Fernando Spinner did a movie, a sci-fi movie called The Sleepwalker, based on the Latin American sci-fi, Borges, that is so complex. Actually, Philip Dick read Borges, and all the Philip Dick work is based on Borges. Borges was more fantasy, like not sci-fi, but it's so complex. And this guy, Fernando Spinner, is going to, release a movie right now, sci-fi, called The Immortal. I will try to send it if I have the chance. This is like excellent director. I think you should try to contact him because he is like one of the best. And he loves sci-fi and he wants to work these ideas. I hope you can come to Argentina.
I hope to come to Argentina, even if it's just to experience the food and the culture. I mean, I love you guys, especially how you are socially. Like that is so in line exactly with what I'm about. So absolutely. Even if it's just a vacation. But I would love to work there as well.
Don't worry, you have a place to stay. As I say to everyone, you have to hear. Yeah, no, I mean, really, actually, we do that all the time. This guy, director from Chile, Nico Lopez, always invite the actors. He's very Latin American,
wonderful.
Let's talk and have a movie. There's a question I always ask to every artist: is how would you like to be remembered?
How would I like to be remembered? That's a great question, first and foremost, a wonderful question. I think I would like to be remembered as a character actor. I think I would like to be remembered as someone that pushed the boundaries in his work. Somebody that told really interesting stories, both on stage and on screen. I think, I would like to be remembered as someone that was compassionate and passionate and someone that lived and loved out loud. I think that would be enough for me. How would you like to be remembered? How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, no, no, this is the first time someone asking me that. I want to be remembered as someone who'd who tells stories, who make projects possible, who connects people in order to make projects that inspire people.
That's wonderful.
I know that, and that's what I do every day. Every day I talk with 50 people from different parts of the world. I speak English, French, Russian. I've been talking to directors in Russia. That's what I do. I've been working. The first career I chose was economy. I didn't like that. My real passion was, telling stories, literally, to write, to make movies, films, and I discovered I'm good at connecting people. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to connect with people here in the US. By the way, in Colorado lives Alex Cox, that he's always trying to do new movies. If you want, I can connect you with him. Do you know Alex Cox?
Oh, I don't know if I know that name. Denver is my base.
The guy from Sid and Nancy, Walker, Repo Man. You know that movie?
Yeah, I know all those movies.
Yeah. He lives in Colorado. And recently I sent him some alfajores that are Argentinian sweet snacks because he loved that. He came here to the Mar del Plata festival, so now he's addicted to the alfajores. It's something very, very I'm sure he ate them a lot right now, but I can contact with him. He's in Colorado.
Please, I think always. Right now I'm looking. Before the pandemic happened, I was looking at relocating to either Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Atlanta, Georgia, both very large hubs of where film is happening right now, film and TV. And I think ultimately I'm going to end up in one of those places. But, you know, I would love to talk to everyone and anyone in Colorado. It's such a tight-knit community. And it's actually funny, you get surprised about the people that are in the mountains in Colorado. Like my good friend Hossein there. Hey, buddy. And also an actor that's tuning in right now. So I would love to be connected with anyone. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I've been connecting people from Australia to the US. I never understood why people don't do that for themselves, but evidently they need someone to connect. And I love to do that because now they are making, because things happen when you connect people, like movies.
Absolutely.
And I always say I'm a proactive fan because I like to see movies, but I want to do things to make them, so people make movies, or I would like to do movies. So, well, that's the idea. And also, if you have independent filmmakers that they want to be known in Latin America or elsewhere, please connect them with us so we can put their short films in our Instagram, YouTube, so we can do live, so people can start knowing, because the audience, their fans are, you know, this community is the word, and
Yes,
can
it
help
is
to
absolutely
help
community.
us. So that's the idea, to keep in touch, to keep connect. Actually, we are trying to do an animated anthology with writers from all over the world, and we're going to do like animations with sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and we need actors to be the
I would
narrators.
be honored to do one of those voices. So let me know when it comes to fruition.
I'm telling you, we're going to show the first short, animated short, like, so people can see, and then we're going to do the big project. So yeah, thank you very much. We will, if you and if you want to send us a short story that do you write?
No, I don't. I'm an idea man, and so I try to surround myself with very good writers.
Okay. Because I have a lot of actors who told me, yeah, I want to write, but I don't know how to start. I mean, a lot of actors can become directors. And by the way, do you want to become a director
I'm
in the
not sure.
future?
It might be in the cards later. I think my lane right now is acting and producing.
Excellent. Well, Brian, thank you very much. I will send you all the movies, and I will connect you with directors. So we hope in this 2021 we come up with a lot of interesting projects.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and what you're doing. I think you're doing great work.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.
Cheers.